Just how bad is it right now? The State Patrol in Golden says it's so bad their plows are getting stuck or tipping onto their sides. Look at that. They're saying wherever you are, stay there.
And right now, CDOT has a warning, avoid the I-25 South Gap. Right now, cars are backed up, and they're actually being asked to turn around. So if at all possible, avoid that area.
And this is your Weather Action Day update. Thanks for being with us. Blizzard conditions going down right now. I'm Jacqueline Allen.
I'm Gary Brode. Our team of meteorologists have been working tirelessly all week, giving us the latest on the storm. And right now, let's head over to Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson with more. Mike?
All right. It's pretty crazy out there, folks, and it's going to stay that way at least until dark and probably until midnight before things start to get a little bit better. This is the view currently at City Park out at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. I want to show you this is what it looked like up at Loveland Ski Area. That's at the top of the Continental Divide. The wind vane is blowing around up there with those strong winds. But this next picture will surprise you a little bit. This is out on the Eastern Plains. This is in Ray, looking back toward the southwest. That is a thunderstorm that has been moving back toward the Denver area, circulating around this giant storm system. And so there's a lot of variety across the state. That's the storm I'm talking about. Here's Ray. We're looking right down into it. And you see the motion coming back toward the Denver area. And what that's going to do is keep us in some bands of very heavy precipitation as this next wave of energy comes around and swirls around the deep low pressure system that is this intense winter storm. So it is rain when you get farther out there toward Last Chance, southern Washington County, the Akron area, but it's all wet, heavy snow along the Front Range. See the darker colors here? That is a bullseye of very heavy moisture that's going right on in to the Greeley area, Fort Collins, up toward Rocky Mountain National Park, and up around Red Feather Lakes. That's where we'll probably end up seeing some of the biggest totals. For days, we've been talking about the potential for some spots getting 4 feet of snow. Wouldn't be surprised if that's the way it pans out in the foothills and up to the Continental Divide in parts of Boulder County and Larimer County. So the orange area is now the blizzard warning, and it's extending all the way from the border of Colorado down to Colorado Springs, but then, of course, goes much farther to the north where this is also a massive blizzard closing roads over Wyoming into western Nebraska, even all the way up to Rapid City, South Dakota. There is a blizzard warning on this storm. I want to show you the size of this storm system. Look at this thing extending all the way from southern Montana down to Houston, Texas, and look at the warnings that extend all the way. These are wind warnings and fire warnings down around Albuquerque and El Paso. And you may have noticed this if you tried to get out earlier and do some shoveling, that there was kind of a brown or a reddish layer in the snow. That's actually dust and soil that's blown all the way in from northern Mexico, swirling into the circulation of this storm system and right into Colorado. So this thing has just had a massive impact across the central part of the country. Severe thunderstorms, of course, out ahead of it in the warmer air. But I want to show you the winds here in Colorado. You can see with the wind arrows the circulation here. 32 miles an hour sustained out at DIA 37 up at Fort Collins. The gusts are in the mid-40s to around 50 miles per hour. That's why we have the blizzard warning. It is the combination, of course, of the heavy snow, the strong winds, the poor visibility, and the blizzard warning will continue until early tomorrow morning. So just stay home. We'll go out and do all the coverage for you as far as telling you what's happening out there, and the weather team will keep you updated on all the latest on the weather conditions. Quite a system.
All right, Mike, thanks. And Georgetown saw quite a bit of snow last night, and it really hasn't stopped. Looks like it's lightening it up just a bit, though. Denver 7's Patrick Perez live there now. Patrick, last night around 10 o'clock, you said it was looking like about a foot of snow fell. I'm curious if we could add to that total.
Oh, absolutely. We did add to that total. There was this man that we met this morning who had parked his car here last night around 9 o'clock. When he got his ruler, there were about 15 inches of snow that had fallen. So we're way beyond the 2-foot mark right now. Obviously, we're in our motel parking lot because it's not really too safe to be out here on the roads. We wanted to, go live near I-70 like we did yesterday and Friday night, but it's becoming more and more dangerous to be out here on the roads. I want to show you some video from I-70 just so you can kind of get an understanding as to to what I'm talking about here and why you really don't want to be on an interstate like I-70 in the middle of this storm. You know, we were hearing a lot of closures across I-70. Obviously, last time you guys saw me last night, I was reporting that it had been closed, but obviously it reopened since then. But we do know of at least one closure on the eastbound lanes near Vail on I-70, another closure in Floyd Hill on the eastbound lanes there from people trying to go up the hill, but their cars getting stuck. So it's a mess. Yes, the interstate is open, but do not get on here unless you really want to. You know, we were hoping to get back to Denver today. You know, we had booked the hotels here to be here until just and we leave and go back to Denver, but the conditions were so bad we're having to stay here another night. Hopefully we can make it back to Denver sometime tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. We're going to see how that turns out to be. But here in town, a lot of the shops are closing, the restaurants are closing. There's one grocery store here that we're hoping remains open until later so we can continue to buy some snacks and, you know, stay fed throughout the afternoon. But yeah, as for the snow here, you know, it was really heavy yesterday, last night, sometime this morning. We got a bit of a break. It's a little lighter now than it was, but I'm expecting it to continue to get maybe a little bit heavier as time goes on because, again, although we have seen 2+ feet of snow here in Georgetown, we are expecting, based on predictions, to see up to 4 feet of snow once this snowstorm is over. So we'll see how that goes, but crossing our fingers, we can make it back to Denver sometime soon tomorrow.
All right, stay safe up there, Patrick. And I want to say this is your first Colorado snowstorm, so welcome to Colorado. And we do have crews all over from the mountains, Patrick, and we now take you downtown to downtown Denver. It's a standstill there right now because of this blizzard.
CB Cotton is downtown right now. CB, what's it looking like?
Gary and Jacqueline, well, as you can see, looking around me, the snow continues to fall pretty steady here in downtown Denver. And about every 20 minutes or so, we'll get these big gusts of wind that just take the snow and slap it right across your face. We're actually here on 14th Street, the intersection of 14th and Champa, across from the Denver Convention Center. And again, this area, we just continue to see this consistent and persistent, like that, snowfall coming our way. I want to show you how much accumulation we have here. This is typically a sidewalk area. I don't have a ruler to measure, but if I step, you see the snow is definitely halfway up to my boot. And all this morning, I've seen several Denver snowplows working to clear off the streets and the roadway. But to be honest with you all, the roads are no closer to being safe for traveling. About an hour ago, Denver police tweeted out on social media that they had to help several people with stalled cars who chose to get on the roadway. And I'm telling you, if you look on social media at some of the photos we've been tweeting out, us reporters at Denver 7, that should be a reminder to so many people. If you choose to travel, there's going to be a lot of risk. I want to show you this parking lot over here in downtown Denver as well. There are a few cars in this area, and you can see the accumulation on top of them. Most of the businesses here in downtown Denver are closed. Again, we're here on 14th Street in Champa. I haven't had a chance to go over to the 16th Street Mall, so I can't speak to businesses over there, but everything on this side is closed. And you mentioned this being Patrick's first snowstorm. It's mine too. I'm originally from North Carolina. I'm used to hurricanes, and now I'm getting this. Ladies, it's not a day to wear makeup. I'll say that.
You're doing awesome, CB. You know it's bad weather when the photographer is having to wipe off the camera multiple times during the live shot. Yeah. Hang in there. All right, we want to talk to Excel. Excel crews have been working nonstop to try to deal with some power outages all over the state. Holly Velasquez-Horvath with Excel is here. Holly, who's getting hit the hardest right now?
We have definitely Greeley and Fort Collins have been getting hit the hardest. But we also did recently have a significant power outage here in Denver with damage to one of our transmission lines. So our outage numbers increased because of that transmission damage.
And Holly, you and I talked a couple of days ago. I wanted to kind of get an idea of how many crews were out and where you're kind of locating a lot of these crews. Where are the majority of those crews right now?
So current numbers right now, we sit a little over 600 employees, contractors, and mutual assistance partners. And earlier today, around 9 or 10 o'clock, we did see that uptick in northern Colorado. So we put a lot of our resources up there. But as we've seen an increase in Metro Denver, we've obviously shifted and adapted to where the outages are and how fast we can get them restored.
And Holly, I wanted to ask you a little bit about, do you have a time frame for people who, are staying in their family members' homes waiting for their power to get back on? And do you have some ideas about when the power will go back on in some of these places that are hit the hardest?
That's really hard to say because it just depends on the damage to the poles, the wires, and the cross arms. So we're restoring as fast as we possibly can. We've restored roughly around 71,000 customers. We still have 49,000 that are out. 21,000 of that is in that Denver area with that transmission damage. And that should, depending on what the damage looks like once we get there, hopefully we can get that quickly restored.
Looking at thousands of people without power right now, and this storm has got hours still to go, several hours, in fact. What's your biggest concern at this point?
It's really duration. So we are not going to let up. We, had a call earlier today with all of our crews and our employees, and we are expecting that we're going to work through the evening, all the way through the night and early in tomorrow morning. The most concern for us is to just think about how we can maintain the outages versus having them increase so that we don't get backed up.
Holly, thank you so much, Holly.
Have them out there. Tough for crews out there working in this snow. Thanks for joining us. All right, let's go to Lance over in Louisville right now. Louisville. Lance, what's the weather like there?
It's miserable. We've got whiteout conditions here at the Louisville Superior Park and Ride. You can see Highway 36 behind me. As we were coming up here from Boulder, you couldn't even see the stripes on that highway. Just a couple, 3 minutes ago, though, there were 4 snowplows that went by in tandem, staggered tandem, clearing a little bit of the snow off the pavement, and there were quite a few cars behind them. But since then, we haven't seen much traffic at all. Now, we shot some video in Boulder a little bit earlier today, North Boulder, where some intrepid residents were using snow blowers to clear their sidewalks. One told us he gets out there every hour to keep it from building up. Just down the block, we saw some tree trimming crews frantically trying to cut some limbs off power lines in that area. We were told that neighborhood had been without power for most of the day. I asked one of the residents what that was like.
Well, we think the power went out around 6 this morning, and it's still out. And for us, it's kind of difficult because we're on well and septic, so we need power in order to have water here. But, it's been out before, and we're sure it'll be back soon.
A lot of people taking it in stride. Out here, though, it is miserable. Don't get on the highway if you don't have to. I'm along the turnpike in the Louisville Superior area, and we're still experiencing whiteout conditions here. I'm going to go ahead and toss it to Stacy to get an update from her. Stacy?
Well, we're still under this blizzard warning until midnight tonight, Lance, and this is it's a rare occurrence to have a blizzard warning here for the Front Range. Doesn't happen often, but this will continue through midnight tonight. Could see another 3 to 6 inches of snowfall here, and wind gusts around 50 miles an hour, so that will provide those whiteout conditions that we've been experiencing already in through the rest of tonight. That blizzard warning extends for the metro area all along the Front Range, and these winds have been howling across our area from 40 to 50 miles an hour coming in from the north and northeast, and we're going to keep a close eye on these winds because that is one major factor in having a blizzard warning when a storm moves through. So we have powerful winds. We're expecting more snowfall and very low visibilities here for our area. So the blizzard warning extends from Wyoming all the way into the Front Range down toward Colorado Springs. Winter storm warning, everything else shaded in pink, which means treacherous driving conditions, pretty much the same as what we've experienced with the blizzard warning, just down a notch. Otherwise, we would just recommend you stay inside, stay safe, don't get out on the roads, because also, as we saw CB out there braving those high winds, it hurts when that snow hits your face when you're just facing the wind. Now, this low pressure area still moving off to the east. It's really wrapping that moisture into the Front Range and into eastern Colorado, and this will continue through the rest of tonight, clearing out overnight. I want to show you a few pictures here from around our area, Loveland ski area, cloudy skies, the snow continuing to fall, and we're seeing about the same thing on every single camera. This is Castle Pines Civic Center camera here. and also City Park. Cloudy skies. This is cleared up just a smidge, but up at Winter Park, also cloudy skies and snowfall. Here are some of the totals. We have everything from 27 inches up at Aspen Springs into 8.9 in Aurora, but also 19 inches of snow at DIA, where our official snowfall totals come from for Denver. So that is going to go down in the record books here as we go through the next 24 hours as one of our bigger storms. Satellite radar pictures still showing that snow here across the Front Range. And coming up a little later, we'll talk more about those snowfall totals and what we can expect in through the rest of the night, guys.
All right, Stacey, thank you so much. Well, this person right here making the best of a very bad situation. I can tell you right now, this is not a day for cars on the road, but hey, snowmobiling, not the worst idea.
Yeah, you don't see it very often, though, in downtown
No, you really
Denver.
don't.
This guy is going through downtown Denver on his snowmobile, fully outfitted. Hello, Colorado.
I'm guessing they planned that out.